Perhaps you've heard people like Abraham Hicks talk about something called segment intending as an effective way to help you manifest. Segment intending is the conscious practice of setting your intention before each segment of your day, right before it begins. For example, before you head to the gym, you take a moment to pause and reflect on how you would like your gym experience to go. You might intend that you have lots of energy, that you hit a few new PRs, and that you feel strong during your workout. This technique is supposed to be a great way to help manifest specific desired outcomes throughout all portions of your day. You can use it for anything: to have a productive morning, to get recognition and a raise at work, or even just to have a good night's sleep. But I'm a skeptic, so I wanted to try it for myself. As a manifestation coach, I'm all about trying new techniques to manifest whatever I want, but I'm not the type to blindly believe in a technique without having tried it for myself first. So I decided to conduct an experiment. For 7 days, I attempted to segment intend as many parts of my day as I could and record my findings to track my progress and results. This technique certainly seems aligned with my style of personal manifestation. I use my signature 5-pillar method, bringing awareness to my beliefs, thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. I identify areas within those 5 pillars that are misaligned with my manifestation goals, and I take active steps to close those gaps so I can fully embody the version of self who has what I want. Segment intending seems to play into 5-pillar manifestation by helping promote the belief that each part of my day will have my ideal outcome. I predict that my thoughts during segment intending will be more closely aligned with my goals because I have freshly established a reminder of what those goals are directly before entering into each segment of my day. This is likely to help me feel good during the segments themselves. And of course, if I feel good, have a positive mindset, and I believe that I will achieve my desired outcome, it also makes sense that my words and actions will be positively aligned to reflect those inner pillar goals as I move through each part of my day. However, I predict I also may feel more prone to disappointment if the segments of my day do not play out as intended. So I'm certainly curious to see the effects of this technique on my day-to-day life. I have set 3 goals to experiment with for the week to see if segment intending really works. First, my small goal, which I feel is pretty easy to achieve, is to not have any clients default on payments for the week. Secondly, my medium-sized goal is to finish everything on my to-do list, which, to be honest, tends to be a bit overzealous, but not completely impossible to accomplish. And finally, my third large goal is to have a new client purchase the full version of my course for about $900 without having to put in any effort into making that sale. This third goal seems pretty out there, especially since I am currently taking a step back from my business and only working a few hours a week. And I'm not currently running any ads or posting much on social media at all. So accomplishing this third big goal would be a pretty clear tell that segment intending works. So, without any further ado, let's get into my week-long experience with segment intending. On day 1, my segment intending experiment was off to a great start. Before I went to the gym, I intended that my workout be powerful and productive, and that I would leave the gym with more energy than I did before I arrived. And, well, that's exactly what happened. Then I got into my workday. My intention was to get everything done in a timely fashion without feeling tired or overworked. And that's exactly how things played out for me. One of the benefits of segment intending is a shift in mindset. Instead of worrying that I won't get everything done, I really wasn't considering that as an option. Instead, I felt inspired to reach my goals. My goals were now more tangible just from taking the time to imagine them happening as I entered into each new part of my day. I did not spend a lot of time doing this technique either. I only spent about 1 or 2 minutes before each part of my day getting clear on my goals and imagining them playing out as desired. In fact, I found it really helpful to break down my goals of the day into smaller portions versus just intending that the day as a whole go well, which is what I normally do. Segment intending really helped me be more specific with my goals and made my goals feel more obtainable because there was such a narrow and achievable focus. I realized pretty quickly that hoping my day goes well as a whole is a pretty broad goal. And I really see the merit in breaking down that goal into small, easy to consume, easier to achieve segments. Overall, I felt pretty good right off the bat. And I got positive responses from clients at work. I had some great conversations with my husband, even from the first day of trying segment intending. So it didn't take long for me to feel impressed with this manifestation technique. The next few days really did follow suit with day one. I was more productive than average, and I felt pretty calm and relaxed despite being more productive. And I had pretty pleasant interactions with everyone I talked to. I kept in mind my goals of not having any failed payments from clients and getting a new client to enroll in my most expensive course, but to be honest, I didn't really spend a lot of time or energy intending for those goals to happen. I find that with manifestation, the more authentically I can pleasantly expect a positive outcome without giving that outcome much of my focus, the more quickly and easily that positive outcome tends to manifest. Now, of course, this strategy is not always possible. For example, it's very hard to casually expect for rent to be paid if you are completely broke and you have an eviction notice. More essential manifestations tend to be a lot harder to just let go of. But these two goals that I set for myself were not too urgent, so I was able to relax and allow them to flow in. As far as my goal of getting everything checked off my to-do list, I kept pace with my goal very well throughout the week. Although it took some effort, I continually found that breaking down my goals into easy to manage chunks and setting my intention before attempting each goal worked quite well for me. It helped me carry a positive attitude into each task, which made each task feel easier to do. Now, before I get into my end of week results with segment intending, I want to give some examples of exactly what I said to myself to set intentions for each segment of my day. I'm going to post these examples on screen in case you want to save them for yourself. I intend to feel good and well rested this morning. I expect all payments from my clients to process on time. I intend to get everything done quickly and easily and feel accomplished as I finish each task and be surprised at how simple my to-do list feels. I intend to enjoy the music in my car while driving safely to the gym. I intend to beat my average running speed and feel energized during and after my workout. I intend to pick out a super cute outfit and feel beautiful in it. I intend to relax and recharge. I intend to have a safe drive to my appointment with very little traffic. I intend that my doctor helps me be healthy. I intend to have a safe, uneventful drive home. I intend to edit my new video in 45 minutes or less. I intend to deeply help my client on this coaching call. I intend to sell the full version of my course without even trying. I intend to enjoy quality time with my husband. I intend to feel relaxed with yoga. I intend to really enjoy this meal and feel nourished and healthy. I intend to fall asleep easily and sleep peacefully through the night. And after each segment, I would take a minute to imagine what it would be like to experience each of these goals. Now, obviously, you shouldn't just copy all of these statements for yourself. You should tailor your segment intending to your individual goals and schedule. But if you'd like to try this for yourself, it's really not that hard. I didn't even write these statements down while I was doing them, except for the purpose of this video. I simply took a few seconds to a minute before each transition of my day, thought about what I wanted to happen, and intended that each segment played out in an ideal way. And you know what? It worked! I was very happy to note that pretty much every time I practiced segment intending before a transition in my day, that segment played out exactly, or close to exactly, how I intended for it to go. And any slight deviations were overshadowed by my repeated successes. In fact, segment intending really helped me focus on how many successes I experienced throughout my day. Normally, my days are pretty frictionless. Things tend to go just fine for me. But I don't really take note of that on an individual basis because I'm so used to it. A good day just feels like an average day to me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing to be overly impressed about. Segment intending really forced me to look at an average day from a whole new perspective. By intending for there to be no traffic on my drive and then experiencing little to no traffic, I really appreciated the fact that there was not much traffic. Whereas normally, this would be such an uneventful circumstance that it would practically go unnoticed. This week, those small things really stood out. And even when a couple things didn't go as intended, it didn't really bother me because I had racked up such a long list of things that had gone exactly as I intended that those few deviations were barely a blip on my radar. For example, this Thursday, I did not finish everything on my to-do list, but I was unfazed by this and was easily able to get it done the next day. When used in this way, segment intending helps you take inventory of the wonderfully mundane wins we all experience throughout each day and look at them from a new lens of appreciation. Okay, let's get into the good stuff. Let's dive into my real results. As we've already discussed, I felt noticeably better during my week of segment intending as compared to weeks prior. I attribute this to being able to break down my day into easy to manage parts to avoid overwhelm and an overly broad outlook, as well as to putting more focus on small, mundane wins and really taking the time to appreciate things that usually go right for me anyway. Segment intending is worth continuing for those reasons alone, but its benefits far exceed just feeling better in my experience. I was able to achieve all of the goals that I set for the week, which, to be honest, is kind of out of the norm for me. First of all, none of my clients' payments failed for the entire week. For my medium goal, I did manage to complete all the tasks on my to-do list. As mentioned earlier, my to-do lists are not super realistic. I tend to put more on my plate than I can really accomplish. But this week, without shortening my list at all, I got everything done. And finally, I did make a sale of my full Get Your Ex Back course without even speaking to the customer who bought it. She simply saw an old video that I posted, went to the link in my bio, and purchased the course without any interaction at all. This means I made almost $900 with zero effort. Pretty cool. Now, let's rank segment intending overall to see if it's something I would recommend others do as well. I tried segment intending for a week, and I'm very happy with the results. Did it change my entire life effortlessly in 7 days? No, but it did contribute to an increase in gratitude and productivity throughout the week, which led to some noticeable improvements in my day-to-day life. Let's break down my results after segment intending for an entire week. The positives. I was measurably more productive than usual. Despite getting more done, I did not feel more tired. I didn't have any clients default on payments, meaning I had less stress. I experienced more appreciation for small wins throughout the day, and I made a large sale effortlessly. The negatives. I did have to spend additional time before each transition of my day in order to do this technique. However, I more than made up for that time by simply intending to be more productive. So I would consider this a net positive, negative anyway. When we add it all up, there are a lot of positive possible effects to segment intending. And, at least from personal experience, there are no net negatives. I will note that it was not always easy to remember to segment intend for every part of my day. I did forget sometimes. But with practice, anyone can build this habit, and segment intending can become effortless and automatic. As with any manifestation technique, if you want to give this a try, give it a real try. Don't just try it one time and give up if you don't instantly achieve all of your goals. Consistency is key. You can start small by setting an intention each morning. Then start working more intentions in throughout your day. With a little repetition, this can be almost effortless and an effective way to improve your life. I definitely want to note that segment intending alone is probably not enough to change your entire life. Keep in mind that as a professional manifestation coach, I already practice healthy function throughout the day automatically at this point. I am mindful of my thoughts and how I feel. I take healthy steps to think and feel better if I notice negativity, and I practice awareness with how I speak and act for the most part. So one reason I experienced positive results from segment intending is because I already have a relatively healthy setup for my life. If you feel like you are always spiraling into negative thoughts and feelings and don't yet have the skills to deal with it, segment intending likely won't be as effective for you right away. It's important to have a well-rounded approach to manifesting the life that you want and not just depend on one technique to magically make your life perfect. At the same time, it's far better to take a small step in the right direction than to take no steps at all. If the only positive action you can manage during a difficult time is to segment intend, do it. Eventually, those intentions may inspire you to learn more about healthy steps that you can take to manifest the life that you desire. Let's dive into how I would rate segment intending as a manifestation technique. I will be looking at 4 major categories and give it an overall rating. First, for sustainability, I rate this technique a 3.5 out of 5. There is definitely a learning curve with segment intending before it becomes automatic. It's reasonable to assume that there will be a higher upfront investment of energy when you're first starting to implement this as a regular practice in your life. You may forget to intend for several segments or even entire days before you get used to pausing before each new thing you do. That said, like most things in life, once you get used to it, segment intending should become pretty easy and automatic. Next, for effectiveness, I would rate segment intending a 3 out of 5. I definitely noticed an improvement in what I was able to accomplish with those 7 days as a direct correlation of using this technique. But I still had to make the effort to do the things I was intending to do, like go to the gym, be productive, and get good sleep. Segment intending is an accelerant, but it won't necessarily manifest your desires for you. That said, I did successfully intend to make a big sale with no effort at all, and it worked. So results certainly can be effortless in some cases. I would rate segment intending a 4 out of 5 for ease of use. It was pretty straightforward and easy to intend the next part of my day go well. It didn't take a lot of thought to imagine what I would like to happen next in my day. I didn't need a fancy wording or complicated strategies to make my intentions effective. I did, however, struggle somewhat to remember to use the technique, and that's why I detracted a point. For the fun rating, I give segment intending a 3 out of 5. Intending isn't the most thrilling manifestation technique out there, but to be honest, it was kind of fun to speak my intentions into existence and see such instant results. The great thing about segment intending is if you're doing it right, you should see results very quickly with how your intentions are working. Because you're focusing only on a very small and specific part of your day, one bit at a time, you do get a pretty quick payoff. It was also kind of fun to imagine small successes happening over and over all day long. So in total, that leaves us with an overall rating of about a 3.4 for segment intending. In conclusion, I will make more of an effort to segment intend consistently. I definitely think that this technique is worth a higher initial investment of energy in order to establish it as a habit. And I'm excited to see what happens with this technique when it becomes more automated in my day-to-day life. Now, this is just my experience, and I'm curious about yours. Have you ever tried segment intending? Was it a positive, negative, or neutral experience for you? And why do you think you experienced it that way? Comment below so we can see a variety of personal experiences. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more manifestation videos, and comment below which manifestation technique I should try next. I'm Coach Katie with Manifest Best, and happy manifesting!